You already know how to calculate the price elasticity of demand. Okay, right now we make a summary about the results. Okay, when we calculate the degree of elasticity of demand, you will get the value of elasticity. Some of it will be more than one. Okay, some of it is like 0 point something. That's mean less than one but bigger than 0. Okay, then some of the calculation, okay, will be result for 0, okay, and also for infinity also. So those amount will represent your demand curve. Okay, so right now if we talk about elastic demand, okay, elastic demand, so we know the elastic demand here, the value must be, sorry, we go to elastic. Okay, the value must be more than 1. Okay, you calculate Q2 minus Q1 divided by P2 over P1 times P1 over Q1. So the value you got must be bigger than 1. Okay, let's say 1.5 or 2 or 4. Okay, let's say you got negative, like the example I gave you, -4. Okay, so we need to ignore negative here because elasticity of demand, okay, we always get result negative, and the negative symbol here represent your relationship between price and quantity. So the coefficient itself just 4. Okay, so 4 we call it elastic. What meaning of elastic? Elastic meaning, okay, the amount here, okay, the amount changes in quantity must be bigger than below price. Okay, for example, we put here, you know the math equation, okay, percentage change in quantity demand, when we divide by percentage change in price, you got 4 over 1. So that's why you got the amount bigger than 1, isn't it? If the up here quantity demand is lower than changes in price, 1 over 4, then you will got 0 point something. That means less than 1, isn't it? So that's the equation. That's how you calculate. Okay, this formula is just divide and minus only. So, okay, you got coefficient 4. Coefficient 4 bigger than 1, meaning the up here changes in quantity must be bigger than changes in price. Okay, percentage change in quantity demand must be bigger than percentage change in price. So how it will look like in your diagram? So this is price, this is quantity. It said quantity demand must be bigger. So we just imagine, okay, we have changes in price here. Let's say price increase just a little bit here. Let's say it's 5 only here. Okay, 5. Then what happened to quantity demand? Quantity demand, because of negative, meaning price increase, quantity will be decrease, will false. Okay, but because it is elastic, okay, the up here quantity demand must be bigger. Then the changes in quantity demand must be bigger than changes in price. If price is 5, meaning changes in quantity must be more than 5. Okay, let's say here is 20. That's why the stage here become far. Okay, it's 20. If here is 6, up here will be 7. Okay, if here is 5, then here is 25. So this is the changes in quantity. This is a changes in supply. Changes in price. Then what happened? We need to draw a demand curve. Then we combine this point, we got demand curve. This is how the demand curve for elastic will look like. Okay, here look like this one. Okay, this is elastic demand curve. So elastic demand curve will look like this. Okay, it's not totally horizontal, it just elastic here. Okay, so for inelastic, the value must be less than 1, meaning 0 point something. Okay, so okay, inelastic demand, the value must be less than 1. So how you got less than 1? It means the percentage change in quantity demand, when we divide by percentage change in price, we will get 0 point something. Okay, so how to get 0 point something? Meaning the upper here must be lower than below. So we got how? Let's say 1 and 2. Okay, 1 here divide by 2, so it becomes 0 0.5, isn't it? If 2 divide by 1, it becomes 2 here. Okay, so to get less than 1, it must be the changes in quantity demand must be less than changes in price. Okay, so we got 0 0.5. Then how the diagram will look like? This is quantity, so the changes here is smaller. Quantity small. Okay, but changes in price will be bigger lah. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, so 1 less than 2. Okay, so how to get 2 bigger? This just 1, but this one is 2. This is changes in price. This is changes in quantity. So we put a point there to draw a demand curve. We join the point there, we got the demand curve. Okay, that's the demand curve that we call as inelastic demand curve. Okay, so here we go back. Inelastic demand curve will look more vertical, but not totally vertical. Okay, perfectly inelastic, yes, perfectly inelastic meaning it's totally vertical. Okay, and this one perfectly elastic. If elastic, it become like this one. Perfectly elastic meaning it's totally horizontal line, straight line, horizontal, betul-betul tidur terus. Okay, unitary elastic, your demand curve will look more like this. Okay, that one. The last subtopic about elasticity, price elasticity of demand is determinant of elasticity of demand. How to get the elastic demand curve? Okay, this is the determinants. The first one, existence of substitutes, meaning if the product got many substitute, then the demand curve for that product will become more elastic. Second, proportion of expenditure on a good, meaning if you need to use more money to buy the product, then the demand curve will become more elastic, meaning for expensive goods, demand curve will be elastic. Nature of good, if not the necessity goods, then the product will become more elastic. Income level, okay, for the poor people, the income, for the poor people, okay, the demand curve will become more elastic. For time dimension also same, okay. If the price for the product change in the long term, so the product itself will show by the elastic demand curve. Habits, okay. If the product is not an habit product, so it become more elastic. Complementary goods also the same. If it's not a joint demand, so the demand curve will become more elastic. And the last one, frequently purchased product. If the product is not frequently, okay, it's not something that you buy, you always buy, so your demand curve will become more elastic. Okay, so that's for price elasticity of demand. Now is the time for exercise. Okay, this is the exercise for price elasticity of demand. Okay, we have a question here. If the price of pens decreases from 2 ringgit to 1 ringgit and the quantity demand for pens increase from 40 to 50 units, calculate the price elasticity of demand. The answer is negative 0.5, but you need to know how to calculate, how to get negative 0.5. So we go to the equation first. Elasticity of demand, the equation will be Q2 minus Q1 divided by P2 subtract with P1 times P1 over Q1. Okay, so right now you know 1 represent the old item, the 2 represent the new item. So you need to identify from the information which is the item for new, which one item for 1. Okay, when you say price, okay, price decrease from RM to RM1, meaning this is 1 is the new one, so new we put it 2. Okay, 2 ringgit is the old price, so it's item 1. Okay, now we need Q. Okay, what happened to Q? Quantity demand increase. Okay, it said it increased from 40 to 50. So 50 is the new, okay, represent by 2, and 40 is the old quantity, so we label it as 1. Okay, so we arrange the information here, put inside the formula. Then what happened? Q2 is 50, subtract with Q1 is 40, divide by P2 is 1, minus P1 is 2, times P1 is 2, divide by Q1. Q1 is 40. Alright, then we can solve this equation. It become 50 minus 40, 10 over negative 1 times 2 over 40. Then we can divide the smallest number. Okay, here can be 1, here can be 4, isn't it? So it will become 1 over negative 1 times 2 over 4. Another one, 2 and 4 also can be divided into 1, 4 into 2. So it become 1 over negative 1 times 1 over 2. It become 1 over negative 2. So it is negative 0.5. Alright, so that is how we got negative 0.5 here. Okay, but the coefficient, okay, will be 0.5. Yeah, okay, the degree itself is 0.5. We need to ignore negative symbol here because Alright. Negative here represent the relationship between price and quantity. Price decrease, quantity will increase. Okay, so this is the negative relationship. Of course, you will get the negative answer. Okay, so you know the demand curve will look like this one. Okay, it's negative, but the coefficient itself is 0.5. Okay, that's the answer. Next, you need to try to answer this question by yourself. Try to solve this question. Okay. When the price per carton of Coca-Cola falls from 16 to 14 ringgit, the quantity demanded increases from 200 to 300 cartons per month. Then you need to calculate the price elasticity of demand, ED. Take your time, try to find the answer. Okay, if you got -4, then your answer is correct. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.